Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is October 6, 2024, and Barcelona just defeated Alaves 0-3 in what was an absolutely dominating performance from Barcelona, especially during the first half. And Barcelona take home 3 very important points ahead of the FIFA international break, which will last until October 20th. This is the post-match live analysis. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches as soon as they end, and where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting a discussion going. This is not to be confused with the Barca News podcast where we discuss Barcelona news, and I also get to interact with you lovely people. And of course, the podcasts are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, I haven't said all that. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Goal Kids, Kickback, or Fanatics. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are in the description. If you click on them, you'll be helping this channel, but you would also be helping yourself because you do get access to some pretty cool deals and offers. Now, with the intro out of the way, let's talk about today's match because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona just defeated Alaves 0-3 with a hat trick by Robert Lewandowski in what was a total dominating performance from Barcelona, especially during the first half. And with this, Barcelona are still at the top of La Liga in the #1 position, 3 points ahead of Real Madrid. And what a great way to bounce back from that loss against Osasuna. And what a great way to go into the FIFA international break, having taken home 3 very important points. This will be very great for the team's morale because, of course, after the winter break, we do have some tough matches. We have Sevilla, we have Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and then right away, Real Madrid in the Clásico match. 3 matches in the span, I think, of 1 week, if I'm not mistaken. So difficult matches ahead. So a great way to go into this break, having taken home 3 very important points and staying at the top of La Liga table. Now, overall, Barcelona were incredibly dominating during the first half. Very, very dominating performance by Barcelona. I think the possession was 92% to Barcelona and only 8% to Alaves. A Barcelona that was doing a great build-up of the play from the back. Very fast passes and fast transitions. And thanks to that, Lewandowski was able to score a hat trick. 3 goals in 30 minutes. Absolutely dominating performance by Barcelona where it looked like Barcelona were just playing against an empty goal. Like there was absolutely no resistance from Alaves. And Barcelona were able to go to the halftime being up 0-3 with, again, hat-trick of Lewandowski, 2 assists by Rafinha, and an assist by Eric Garcia, who we will talk about in a little bit. Now, the second half was not as convincing as the first half, but of course, it does have an explanation. Why? Because Barcelona, again, were incredibly dominating the first half. They were able to score 3 goals. They were up 0-3. Alaves weren't really offering much, even though they started attacking more. Their attacks weren't really dangerous. Most of the time, they were getting caught in that perfect offside trap that Flick has been able to set up since he took over. And even when they didn't fall into the offside trap, they barely caused any danger. So, of course, Barcelona being up 3-0 and with Alaves not presenting any kind of danger, the team slowed down. They slowed their intensity down. They took their foot off the accelerator, which usually I would be against. Usually I'd be like, no, the team should not slow down. The team should keep pressuring every single minute until the whistle is blown. But in this case, when you're up 3-0, when you see that the other team is not posing any kind of danger, it makes sense that the team, slow down because, after all, why exhaust yourself if there's no need for it? So overall, brilliant performance by Barcelona, especially during the first half. Again, second half, not so much, but that's because the circumstances allowed Barcelona to be able to slow down. And at the end of the day, it worked out because Barcelona took home the victory and took home the 3 very important points. Now, let's look at the lineup that Hansi Flick started with, and I'll make this bigger so you can see it better. But it's your typical lineup that we've been seeing in the last few matches. Of course, Iñaki Peña taking over the injured Ter Stegen, and where Wojciech Szczęsny is not ready yet to participate, even though he has been registered with La Liga. We saw the only change, which was Hector Fort taking the place of Jules Koundé. Of course, Koundé has played every minute of every single match, so it's very nice to see Jules Koundé getting that rest. He did come on in the 60th minute in the place of Hector Fort. I don't think there was any need for that. I think Koundé could have easily taken the rest of the match off. After all, he deserves it. He's earned it, but nonetheless, Flick brought him in, probably just to keep him, in that competitive rhythm. I don't know what the real reason is, but I think Koundé could have easily rested that rest of the match. But the only change we saw is Hector Fort for Koundé, Pau Cubarsí and Iñigo Martinez in that center back position, Alejandro Balde on the left, which we saw him then come out, and we saw Gerard Martin take his place. With Iñigo Martinez, we saw Eric Garcia come back down and take his place. Now, in the midfield, we had in a double pivot, Marc Casado and Pedri. Brilliant match by the two. Then we had Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Ferran Torres with Robert Lewandowski as the center forward. And 2 or 3 minutes into the match, we saw Ferran Torres getting injured. It looks like he has injured his thigh. We don't know exactly what the extent of the injury is. As always, medical exams are not conducted until the following day. They wait for the swelling to come down, and then they do the medical exam. So we won't know for sure what's going to happen with Ferran until tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll find out what the extent of the injury is, and we'll see how long he will be out. Hopefully not for too long. I saw a lot of people celebrating his injury. Look, an injury to any Barcelona players is never a reason to celebrate. It's never a reason to be happy. After all, we want all of our players to be healthy because we want Flick to have all the resources available to him so he can be able to pick and choose as he pleases, so he can be able to face the challenges as best as he can. So hopefully it's not a serious injury to Ferran Torres. Again, we'll find out more tomorrow. And of course, I will be here to give you that news. Now, when Ferran Torres got injured, we saw Eric Garcia take his place, dropping in that double pivot with Marc Casado, and with Pedri going into the attacking midfield in the place of Rafinha, and Rafinha dropping to the left. Overall, as far as the players, only there's a few things I want to highlight because, again, when the team does this great, it's really hard to say much. But overall, Pau Cubarsí and Iñigo Martinez, as always, very solid in that center back position. Hector Fort, good minutes by Hector Fort. I'm not going to say it was a stellar match by Hector Fort, but it was also not a bad match by Hector Fort. He did his job, which was to relieve Jules Koundé, and he did it well. I think good minutes by Hector Fort there, showing Flick that he is a good option when it comes to matches like these against smaller teams that don't cause a lot of danger. It's good to give Koundé some rest and that you can bring in Hector Fort in his place, and you know that Hector Fort will do the job. Again, not a stellar match, but he did his job, and of course, more importantly, he gave Koundé some rest, which was very, very much needed. Alejandro Balde has just been phenomenal on the left. He's a total rocket. Just see him up and down through the whole field. A lot of the attacks came through the left this time, as opposed to usually when they come to the right. And then, of course, we saw him getting some rest towards the end with Gerard Martin taking his place. Casado and Pedri, brilliant match by the two, especially Marc Casado. I have to say this, and this was brought up during watch along. Obviously Lewandowski got the MVP because he had a hat trick, and someone said, I think he should have gone to Rafinha. And I said I agree because Rafinha had a great match too. But I also say up there with Rafinha for the MVP, I think was Marc Casado. Because Marc Casado, what he did today, what he's been doing every day during the Barcelona matches, he has become the engine of Barcelona. He is the engine of Barcelona. He is the guy that keeps this team going. I mean, the way he sets the tempo for the whole match, the way he is not only coming back and defending, he's there in every duel. Marc Casado is there, trying to win the ball, trying to get the ball back, trying to recover the ball. But he's also there when organizing a team from the back. He's might not seem that obvious because he plays in a much lower role. But in the third goal, Eric Garcia's assist, it all starts with Marc Casado. He makes that pass that breaks the lines of Alaves, gets it to Eric Garcia, and then Eric Garcia gives also a great pass to Lewandowski, who ends up scoring. But Marc Casado has become the heart of this team, the engine of his team, and I think he was up there with Rafinha as far as the MVP. But of course, it was given to Lewandowski because he did score the hat trick. But I think Marc Casado, we're seeing an absolute brilliant player in the midfield. Then we had Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and technically Pedri because Ferran did come off. I will say this, great match by Rafinha, especially in the first 30 minutes. He was very, very active. He was combining really well with his teammates. He had 2 assists, obviously both to Lewandowski. He could have had a third one, but it was blocked by the goalkeeper. He also had a chance. He was hand-to-hand with the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper was able to stop it. It's not really Rafinha's forte when he goes hand-to-hand with the goalkeeper, but nonetheless, brilliant match by Rafinha, especially those first 30 minutes where he was incredibly active and where he was pretty much leading the attacking line, right? He was the force behind the attacking line as opposed to usually it's Lamine. Today, it was Rafinha. Now, Lamine Yamal, quiet match by Lamine. He had a good plays here and there, but overall, it was a quiet match by Lamine, which, of course, it's okay. You cannot expect Lamine Yamal to be the star of every single match. That's just unrealistic. Even Messi had matches where it was where he was quiet. Even Messi had matches where he was bad. Today, Lamine wasn't necessarily bad. I don't think he was. It was just a quiet match for him, which, again, it's good. You can't expect Lamine to be the star of every single match that he plays in. And the more important thing is, I like that even though Lamine Yamal had a quiet match, Barcelona were still convincing, Barcelona were still dominating, and Barcelona still able to take home a very convincing victory. And that's very important because last season, the team was not working out. The only player that was working out last season as far as the attack was Lamine Yamal. So all the responsibility of winning, of doing well, was being put on the shoulders of a 16-year-old because he was 16 last season. But now we don't have to do that. Now, even when Lamine has an off night, the rest of the team functions. And after all, that is the point. The point is for the whole team to function even when other players are not having the best of the night versus Xabi's teams where it was heavily reliant on individual talent, and when that individual talent would not work out, the whole team would fall apart. That's not the case. So that was really good to see that even though Lamine Yamal was having a night off, the whole team continued to work, the whole team dominated, and the whole team were able to get those 3 important points and the 3 goals, which is the hat trick by Lewandowski. I also have to say, Lamine, he's only 17 years old. We shouldn't be putting that responsibility on his shoulder to begin with. So the fact that now we saw that we don't have to, that's great because that will take the pressure off Lamine, which will allow him to continue growing, continue developing, and play more freely without having to think it's up to me to make this team work. It's up to me to win, right? Because now he knows, even if I can have a bad night. Why? Because the rest of the team will continue to work. Lewandowski with the hat trick. My God, Robert Lewandowski. 36 years old, ladies and gentlemen, and he is still absolutely insatiable when it comes to scoring goals. Flick has found Lewandowski's form once again, which highlights something I was saying a lot last season when people were like, oh, Lewandowski's old. Lewandowski needs to be sold. Lewandowski needs to go. Sell him to Saudi, blah, blah, blah. And I kept saying, the reason Lewandowski's not scoring, which, by the way, he scored, I think, 26 goals. So even when he scores that much, people are saying he sucks. But anyways, even when he wasn't scoring, quote unquote, because he was, I said the reason why he's not scoring as much is because the system of play of Xabi, because the team was not able to get the ball to Lewandowski in the box. And Lewandowski is the classic center forward. He needs the ball in the box in order for him to score. He's not a mobile center forward where he can grab the ball in the middle of the field, run with it, dribble past players, and score. That's not him. It never has. It never will be. Lewandowski needs the ball in the box. And under Xabi, the team could not get him the ball. That's why he was not, quote-unquote, scoring, even though he scored like 26 goals. Now, Flick has found a way to get the ball to Lewandowski, and well, lo and behold, Lewandowski scoring them. 10 goals in La Liga, still La Liga's top goal scorer. He's also the Champions League top goal scorer. Brilliant performance by Lewandowski, who has once again has become absolutely lethal under Flick. And then we do have to talk about Eric Garcia, since I forgot to mention him. Of course, Ferran Torres coming out injured. Eric Garcia taking his place. I really liked what I saw by Eric Garcia. Again, not a stellar match like Hector Fort, but not a bad match either. And what I'm liking about Eric Garcia is that we're seeing an evolution. Every match, Eric Garcia is getting better and better and better. Again, he's not up there like Casado or Bernal, but he's getting better and better and better, as opposed to the first match where he played as a DM, where he looked very scared, he looked very nervous, he was making mistakes, he kept trying to hide, he wasn't trying to get the ball because he wasn't too confident. Of course, naturally speaking, he's a center back, not a defensive mid. But now with every match, we've seen an improvement, and today was no different. Today's match was even better than the previous ones. Eric Garcia is starting to look a lot more confident in his position, winning duels, even getting better, pushing forward, because let's not forget the third goal was an assist, and a brilliant assist by Eric Garcia, putting that ball to Lewandowski in the box, who, of course, the Polish striker, finishing it off and getting his hat trick. Now, we did see Ansu Fati get some minutes, and I have to say, he's looking very sharp. Ansu Fati did not score 2 goals by a miracle because the goalkeeper was there to stop them, but very good minutes by Ansu Fati. He's looking very, very sharp. And let's wait and see what happens after the break, because Ansu Fati is coming in firing on all cylinders. And in these, how long did he play? 15, 20 minutes. In the 20 minutes that Ansu Fati was on the field, he did more than in the 3-4 last matches that Ferran has been on the field, and Ferran has played 90 minutes of every single one of those those matches. So keep an eye on Ansu Fati because he is looking good. He's looking sharp. Let's see how that progresses. Of course, hopefully he can stay healthy, but I really, really liked what I saw from Ansu Fati today. All right, that's all. That's overall the entire analysis. Again, a very dominating first half by Barcelona. 3 goals in 30 minutes. Second half, not as good, but of course, it was due to the circumstances where Barcelona were already up by 3 goals. They saw that Alaves wasn't really creating much danger, and as a result, they slowed down and, well, ended up taking the victory home. 3 very important points. We go into this FIFA international break with Barcelona still at the top of La Liga, 3 points ahead of Real Madrid. And after the break, we will have a series of difficult matches, starting with Sevilla, then Bayern, and then Real Madrid. So a good way to start the break with another victory. It will be very good for the morale of the team, who will have to face those difficult matches once the break is over. All right, we do have a donation. Sanjok says, Iñaki Peña makes me nervous. This is Barca. Our backup goalkeeper needs to challenge our main goalkeeper. That's how Ter Stegen took Bravo's spot. We need a new second goalkeeper. Iñaki Peña makes me nervous too. I think he's a good backup, but not a appropriate starter. Now, as far as having 2 great goalkeepers, that's never going to work. Realistically speaking, that's never going to work. It doesn't work in any team. You can't have 2 great goalkeepers because one of them will leave. Simple as that. That's how Bravo ended up leaving, actually. That's a perfect example of that. You can't have 2 great goalkeepers on one team. It's just almost impossible. PSG are probably the ones who came closest to this by having Donnarumma and why am I blanking on his name? Costa Rican guy, Navas. And Navas ended up leaving. You just can't, because unlike every other position on a team, goalkeeper, if you're the backup, you're most likely not going to see any minutes. Unlike all the other positions, even if you're the backup, you're still going to get some minutes, right? Because rotations are needed, injuries happen, suspensions, whatever. Goalkeepers don't get rotated because they don't get exhausted. They don't run. They're in the goal. They hardly get injured because for the same reason. So if you're the backup, you're not going to get minutes. So if you have 2 great goalkeepers, the backup one is going to be like, what am I doing here? I'm not getting any minutes. He's going to want to go somewhere else. So in an ideal world, yes, we would have 2 Ter Stegens, right? But in real life, very difficult. Besufikat says, hello, Mo. The team didn't play well in the second half today, but our offside trap was on point today. Yes, I think, again, it has to do with the fact that the team decided to slow down. They were up by 3-0. Alaves wasn't really posing any kind of danger, so the team slowed down, and we still took home the victory. Luke says, another clean sheet for Iñigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí this season as a center-back duo. The Cubarsí-Iñigo Martinez duo is looking very, very good. And Winston says, a couple of times Peña was caught backpedaling because he was not positioned correctly as a goalkeeper. It could have cost us. I agree. Eddie says, hey, Mo, this is my first time. Please read my comment. I like the way this team is playing. I like it too, my friend. Street Fighter says Real Madrid play again the same team and conceded 2 at their home. Real Madrid is just, it's sad. Well, it's just pathetic, awful football. That's what Real Madrid is right now. Luis Sanchez says, Mo, shout out from Brooklyn, New York. What's the bar you go to see the Barca games? All right, what's up, Luis? It's called Smithfield Hall. That's the official New York City Peña bar. Smithfield. It's on 21st or 22nd Street. I always confuse it. I know how to get there. I just forget what street is on. But yeah, Smithfield Hall. I'll probably be there for the El Clasico match. I like to go for El Clasico events. So if you go, please say hello. James says, Iñaki Peña is not our man. Man, he's so indecisive. And Sean says, hey, Mo, my man of the match of the player is called Offside Trap. Yeah, that definitely, for sure. The Offside Trap worked wonders today. James says, I'm still wondering why Lamine was angry when subbed off. Bro doesn't get tired of playing. It's natural. It's, competitive nature of athletes. They want to play every single minute of every match. But, of course, Lamine has to understand, my boy, you're 17 years old. The season is long. There's going to be plenty of matches, plenty of minutes for you to play. You need to rest, chill. You'll have your shot. Plus, you have your whole career ahead of you. Frank says, great first half. Sorry, but not sorry for Ferran. Amazing for Lewy. And you said to watch Casado. I did. And yes, what an engine. Vizca Barça. And thank you. Vizca Barça. And yes, my friend, Casado. Wow. What a revelation this season. How he didn't get any minutes last season is beyond me. It will be the biggest mystery ever. Mickey says, hey, Mo, I want to know about your opinion about the double pivot. Who do you think will be perfect combination? De Jong, Casado, Pedri, De Jong. Sorry, De Jong and Casado, Pedri and De Jong, or Casado, Pedri. Oh, my dude. I can't really answer that question because we haven't seen De Jong under Flick. We saw him for a few minutes today. We saw him for a few minutes. Was it against Young Boys? Yeah, against Young Boys. So we still haven't seen it, right? Plus, he's not at 100%. So I think we need to see Frankie play more minutes, see him what he looks like under Flick at 100%, and then we can really tell what's going to be better. Because so far, we've only seen Pedri and Casado together, which they've been absolutely great, but we haven't seen De Jong. Gaitan says, hi, Mo. Gaitan all the way from Seychelles. Keep it up, bro. I don't know where that is. If you want to let me know, that'd be awesome. Jamie says, hello, watching from Mozambique. It was good to see Ansu Fati trying to score. I hope he scores at the next match. Great minutes by Ansu Fati. Very happy with what I saw. He is looking very sharp. He had 2 chances that he almost scored. And I think Ansu, keep an eye on him. I think we might see good things happening with him. Gaitan says, I believe Pedri is more effective in double pivot than attacking midfield. That's almost position. I like Pedri in both. In a double pivot, he's good at setting the tempo of the attack. In attacking mid, he's very good at filtering those balls to our forwards. And Luis Sanchez says, thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Definitely will, man. Yeah, drinks on me, man. So come say hi in a Clasico match at Smithfield Hall. And Wisdom says, Osasuna game our only 10. I wish we at least drew that game, but oh well, can't wait to cook Madrid. I'm more worried about Bayern Munich. Look, defeat is part of the game. No way around it. We needed to rotate. Flick made a mistake in his rotations. Hopefully he learned from it. Well, onwards and upwards. Anyways, that is all for this post-match live analysis. Another victory, 3 more points. Hat-trick by Lewandowski. Absolutely dominating performance by Barcelona in the first half. And now off to the international break, the FIFA international break, the dreaded FIFA international break. I hate these freaking breaks. There's another one in November. But it is what it is. I'm going to have to find a different hobby for the next 2 weeks because I do get pretty sad when Barca doesn't play. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, and your generous donations. I will see you in tonight's news video. And as always, Vizca Barça.